This is bonus material as far as I'm concerned. We've done our 5.
Yeah.
Let's just see if we can get another couple in there. Squeeze them in. And it's your turn.
I was going to say squeeze them out, but realized
squeeze them out
sounds bad.
Yeah, it does. Especially since I had hernia surgery.
Oh, ouch. I know when I had my appendix out, the joke is, oh, it only hurts when I laugh. But it was true.
Yeah. But what I find interesting is before the surgery, I did hurt to have the hernia. There are different ranges. Some people apparently just live with them. And some people are annoyed by them. Mine actually hurt.
Okay.
And so that went away immediately. But then I was replaced by all this other pain. That was what I wasn't expecting.
The surgical pain.
The surgical pain. So I'm just undergoing surgical pain. And it hurts when I laugh. Well, not anymore. Yeah. But the first couple of days.
Yeah, the first few days.
Laughing, coughing, sneezing, farting. Not all of these things. It's like, oh shit, here we go.
The first time I sneezed after my bypass. Oh yeah, oof. That was. I literally saw stars almost.
Jesus, oof.
And when I had my appendix out, a friend of mine came to visit that day, and I had to kick him out
just because get the fuck away from me.
Making each other laugh. Okay, I can't do that. You have to come back in a few days. Or see me at home.
Yeah, that only. I guess I'm lucky that it was just a hernia, so that was only for a couple of days. But I still get it. Like it's possible that I could feel, but it's weird because I feel pain right here. Like what's there? Is that between where when he sent the little robot? It said robot assist. I don't know what that means. I assume that doesn't mean they sent a little robot inside me, but kind of. Were they rooting around in there? And I don't know. What were we talking about?
I had my appendix out when I was 18, so that's 41 years ago.
Jesus.
And it's every now and then it'll still hurt in that spot.
You're gonna be 60?
Yeah.
When?
April.
Oh man.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a milestone.
Yeah, or a millstone. I'm not sure which. Okay.
There you go.
All right.
How do you do?
Your turn.
We're about to unfold the story of
Ghost of Frankenstein.
My son, would you destroy that which I, your father, dedicated his life to creating? What if it had another brain?
Whose brain?
Your brain.
Bohmer! What good is a brain without eyes to see?
I warned you that you might regret this action.
Well, we've warned you.
You've been warned. Welcome back to Frankenstein Minute, the podcast that dissects the Universal Frankenstein film series, blah, 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 minute by minute. I'm Thom Lang.
And I'm Bill Evenson, and you join us for minute 66 of Universal's 1942 film, All New Thrills, the tomorrow. There's always tomorrow. And if you join us on the 22nd, which is a Thursday, we're celebrating the release of Abbott and Costello Meet the Killer Boris Karloff, which I'm sure we've talked about before.
Yeah.
I really liked it. It was good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's good.
There's a cute little scene where he's trying to hypnotize Costello to jump out a window.
Yeah, Boris is. Yeah.
It's a fun movie.
Yep, it's fun, but it's got a darker tone than most.
Have I been doing this calendar shit for a year? Because I swear we've done this one too.
What's that?
Saturday is the birthday of Gilbert Vincent Perkins. Gil Perkins.
Yeah, I know who he is. It does feel like
yeah, it does seem like it. Sunday is Jack Otterson's birthday.
Yeah, I think we have.
Wednesday is E.E. Clive's birthday.
Yeah. Or
there you go. C.C. Clive's birthday. No, that's on Tuesday.
Okay.
I don't know. That's it. That's all I got for... Okay. Maybe we shouldn't blow past these. Who's Jack Otterson?
Designed the sets for this film, for Son of Frankenstein.
Okay.
And I think going forward.
So what I always think about is, once you said designed, I immediately thought of the pictures of the sets in Son of Frankenstein that you get in the script book, which are fantastic. And that's why the sets are fantastic, is he drew it up that way.
Right. They look almost to the pencil stroke the same.
Yeah, they really did a great job on that.
Somewhere I found somebody had posted large scale scans of the actual drawings or photos of the actual drawings. So I have them saved somewhere. I swiped them. Yeah.
You better make sure you don't lose that drive.
Nope.
And then E.E. Clive of course. E.E. Clive of course plays
the burgomaster,
the clown Clankenstein. I got nothing. I'm just gonna stop talking.
Okay.
You got this one right.
Monster indeed. Yeah, I got this.
That's him.
Yes.
He's that guy.
He's that guy. Amongst a bunch of other things. Yeah.
No wait, E.E. Clive, was he just in that one, or has he come back in
terms of Frankenstein? That's it. Yeah.
Okay. He's also in Invisible Man.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I'm thinking of. All right, and so last week, as you'll recall,
yes,
Ludwig said he's got the same blood type as Kettering's.
Right.
So that should be fine then. This should be great. Oh wait,
but not the same as Igor's.
No. seems like a really basic level, sort of a rookie mistake.
It certainly does.
The other thing I think about that is, if you look at these two guys, if you look at any kind of endeavor that really needs to be done, if it's to be done correctly, it should be done by a team of people.
Absolutely should.
You should have a guy who checks that kind of shit. And it ain't Bohmer. Bohmer is, he's doing his, like we talked about. He performed brain surgery.
Yes.
He took a brain out.
Yeah.
And as we said, he had the more difficult job. He took a brain out of a body, making sure not to wreck it. Yeah. Whereas Ludwig presumably used a spoon or like an ice cream scoop. So that's a very technical skill, and so you want to you would hope. Like I just had surgery done, so maybe this is what comes to mind.
It's a very real.
I met everybody.
Oh yeah,
they come in and they introduce you to everybody, and everybody was fantastic. I loved everybody. It was really, really well. But you've got a guy who probably checks blood type.
Yes.
If that's important, you probably got a guy for that.
Yeah.
But we're doing this sort of fly by night for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
So you don't maybe lose that. So I think it is fair to blame Bohmer for this fuck up.
It is.
Well, it has to be blamed on Bohmer because he's the guy that substituted the brain in the last minute. He did the surprise brain.
If you get down to it, you can blame Igor for planting the seed for this in the first place.
Then
because Bohmer didn't think of this on his own.
True.
This was Igor's idea, so he's got nobody to blame but himself. Really.
This is very true. So Igor comes to him and says,
"Hey, get this."
Yeah, we see the scene. You don't have to.
Yeah.
You don't have to make one up.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's basically hey, get this. We're gonna do him a trick. He's gonna put his friend into our friend.
Yeah.
I'm your friend. You should do me as solid.
Yeah.
And Bohmer thinks to himself, okay, well, what would be some of the things you'd want to make sure?
Yeah.
And blood type doesn't occur to him.
Well, the question is, did it occur to Henry? Did Henry ever think of this? Were all of those
apparently because
all of those pieces the same blood type?
Maybe
they must have been.
They must have been.
The brain, did he check the blood type of that brain? Does a brain have a blood type even?
I'll have more to say about that in a few seconds. Okay. I'll just say it now because the next thing Ludwig says is it will not feed the sensory nerves.
Yeah.
I believe that's the next line.
That is exactly the next line.
I think people know this, but we could stand to go over it. It's very standard knowledge. It's common knowledge that the depiction of blindness due to a blood type mismatch is medically inaccurate.
Yes.
The sensory nerves that transmit visual information from the eyes to the brain, such as the optic nerve, are not affected by blood type differences. Blood type mismatches typically lead to immune reactions affecting organs like the kidneys, lungs, or heart, not sensory nerves like those involved in vision. Furthermore, the brain is protected by a specialized barrier called the blood-brain barrier.
Yep.
You might.
Yeah, I know that because mine broke.
Is that what happened?
Yeah, I was when I went into.
So you fell on the back of your head.
Yeah, hit the back of my head.
Slipped on the ice, or you don't even know because you don't remember it.
I don't remember. I'm assuming I slipped on the ice. Yeah, I hit my head pretty hard on the pavement.
Yeah. This was how long ago? 10 years ago?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was where the split between your lobes.
Okay.
It was bleeding. There's actually scar tissue there now from where it was bleeding out. Yeah.
Okay. So you ruptured the blood-brain barrier that tightly regulates what substances can pass from the bloodstream into the brain. Blood type antigens are not among the substances that pass through this barrier. Therefore, even if the blood types of the body and the brain are different, this would not affect the function or health of the brain directly. In reality, blood type differences primarily affect the compatibility of blood transfusions and organ transplants. The immune system might react to incompatible blood transfusions or organ transplants, but not in a way that causes blindness due to mismatched blood types in the brain. But everybody knows that.
You just knew all this off the top of your head.
I asked ChatGPT, and now that I'm reading it out loud, I realize there were a couple of points that were repeated.
Yep.
But I tried to gloss over them.
No, that's fine. That's interesting.
I had never heard of the blood-brain barrier. Had you?
Yeah.
Because of that? Yeah.
So Henry, it wouldn't have mattered what blood type that brain was.
No, it still matters for Henry because he exists in the Frankenstein universe where this happens.
Where this happens, okay.
But you might note that it's strangely, if you you do have a blood type mismatch between your donor and your brain recipient, that in the first 2 weeks, it's awesome.
It's great.
Everything's going
the
great.
Recuperative powers
all
are tremendous.
faculties. The penis is working.
Everything's
working
working great.
Actually, that'd be funny if he's like, Bohmer, my erection's gone. I can't get it erected.
I can't get it up.
Ordinarily, this would totally get me hard. And it's not working.
So
he obviously could see, as I pointed out,
and then all of a sudden can't.
when Ludwig asked him to identify him, there's no getting around
like
that.
5 minutes before this, not even. Yeah.
So it's 2 weeks and 5 minutes.
That's the limit.
That it works.
Yep.
I don't know that there are a lot of things like that. Although I have read a little bit about. Do you know the guy who wrote the book Awakenings?
I know of it.
It's a true story.
I've seen the movie. Yeah.
And what happened in that movie happened in real life.
Yeah.
So the Robert De Niro character is given drugs that make him sort of come out of this almost comatose life that he has, and he starts dating in the movie. I don't know if that happened.
Some of it seems a little heightened.
He does kind of fall off, and the drug stops working, and he just regresses back into that state.
Yep.
And so that's all I can assume is that's what's happened here. Is when you first do a brain transplant, everything's great, and then 2 weeks and 5 minutes in,
it starts to
just completely blind. There's none of this cataract bullshit, none of this fading or anything like that. It's just
shuts off
on and off.
Shuts off completely.
Yep. Bohmer, you played me a trick.
Not happy about it. Yeah.
I love that line.
Grabs him by the throat. Bohmer, you played me a trick.
That's so great.
Yep.
I think what gets lost when we talk about the fact that Igor was so much better in the last movie is that he's still pretty great here. And we have said this multiple times, but Bohmer, you played me a trick is just such a great, not quite right in English line.
Right. Yeah.
It's just it's awesome. I love it.
Yeah, and he's been punked Bohmer style. He's been punked Bohmer style.
But that's funny because now that you put it like that, the guy who got punked was Ludwig.
Ludwig,
Yeah, I mean he put all that work in and putting that brain in there.
He was expecting.
He
was expecting big things. He was going to play chess with Kettering again.
And then it's just murder from here on out.
It is.
What good is a brain without eyes?
To see.
What do you think about that?
Well, I said the billions of blind people who've led happy and productive lives might have an answer for that.
Yeah, Stevie Wonder.
Yeah.
Ray Charles. Helen Keller.
Yep.
Helen Keller arguably had a decent life.
Yeah.
And she couldn't see or hear or speak or taste or touch or I don't know.
Well, you know why?
No.
It's because her sensory nerves weren't feeding. Whatever.
Have you ever heard my joke about Helen Keller? Why can't Helen Keller drive?
No.
Because she's a woman. You can leave that in. I think it's a great satire of that kind of joke. Yeah. But please cut it out. Because obviously,
did you hear
I'd make a point of saying why can't she drive? Because the first answer really is because she's dead.
Well, but
there's a whole list.
There's a whole litany. Well, did you hear the latest Helen Keller joke?
No.
Neither did she. I'm so sorry.
Did you just make that up?
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
I'm so sorry.
There you go.
First Anne Frank and now Helen Keller.
Oh man.
All right.
Might be time to wrap this up.
Yeah. What good is a brain without eyes? Ludwig dies, I think, at that point.
Yeah. Yes.
He's just it.
That's right. What good is a brain without eyes? That line where we see Ludwig during that part, and Ludwig is propped up against like the edge of the window.
Well, I think he's on the floor.
Oh, that's not the window. That's
foot of that big table.
Foot of that big bed with the steering wheel on it.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense because that's where he left him.
Yeah.
Okay, but it just looked like the edge of the window to me. Okay, so he's. This is it. This is Cedric Hardwicke's final shot in the series.
Yeah.
And it's just him as Igor says, what good is a brain without eyes to see, or whatever he says.
What good are eyes?
Good as a brain without eyes. And he's got his arm propped up slightly and it falls.
Yep.
So he died from something.
Yes. I don't know.
Or else he's fine. I mean, I guess.
Well, but we don't see him try to.
The movie's not over, but it's more or less over, and I don't know what happens to the star.
I don't either.
He's tired. He looks tired.
He just looks a little. Yeah.
It's been a long day.
I I can't take this. One more fucking thing.
Yeah. And there's gas being sent throughout the house, but not to the room he's in. It's like the only room that doesn't have gas in it. And he seems fine. Well, I mean, again,
his hair's mussed up, man. That's
his hair. I mean, for Hardwick, that's
yeah.
Goodbye, Cedric Hardwick. Yep. We hardly knew ye.
Yep.
What else did he do after this? Rope and what? Is that it?
No, he did a lot. He had a long career.
Well, we did talk about him actually because he died in real life.
Died
in July
pretty poorly, and apparently
was buried next to his first wife.
Yes. Yeah. Apparently married.
You know, I guess my fear on that one was when I talked about it last week was I had kids with my first wife, as did you.
Yes.
So my kids might want.
I had kids with your
first
wife.
You had kids with my everybody. Listen. Hey, I'm not trying to slam anybody. But my kids, I guess, I could see my kids wanting, I don't really see this, but I could see, okay, let me say it differently. I could imagine a world in which a kid would want their parents to be buried next to each other, even though they were more or less estranged or whatever.
Yeah.
There's a part of me that thinks, well, that sucks. I don't want that. I have married the love of my life now, and I don't want that.
Exactly.
I don't particularly care if I'm buried next to her. It doesn't matter to me. Right. It would just be odd to do that.
Yeah.
So I wonder if I should maybe learn something from Cedric's
well,
experience.
I think the thing is your second wife, as far as I could tell from what I've seen and what I know of her, is not crazy.
That's true.
That might be the difference.
That's the clinching factor that makes me not have to worry. Okay.
I think so.
Well, I'll continue to labor under that assumption.
Yeah.
And again, not much I can do about it.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to be buried anywhere. So.
Well, the only way to do it is to bury yourself, I think.
Sure, though then you have control over it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Plan your own funeral.
Or blow yourself up, I guess.
I guess. There's nothing left to you to bury. Is that what you're saying?
Has anyone ever blown themselves up? I suppose that happens frequently.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure it's... Well, yeah, I think as protest or accidentally. Or,
yeah, while putting together, like if the Unabomber had accidentally set it off. I think that happens.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you know, like
but then you still got parts that people will bury sometimes.
I guess, yeah. His head.
It's an odd thing, burying people.
It is weird, and I think, you know...
Still happens. I saw it recently.
People are moving away from it with each generation.
With me in particular, I assume that I couldn't be buried in holy place like churchyard.
No, me neither. Plus I have tattoos, so...
Oh,
couldn't be buried
you're done?
in the Jewish cemetery.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah, I know. I really wanted to be.
I mean... The thing about it is they are so I guess I can kind of see.
Yeah. I mean that.
I think you're gonna cut that out.
Yep.
Bohmer gets tossed.
Yeah.
Now you could see what happens here.
Yes, this is very clear, and it's very actually I think well done. Sort of.
Like you watch it, it's the kind of thing personally for me, I can watch it one time and think it's well done, and then watch it another time and think it's goofy. Terrible. Yeah. He bounces off a piece of equipment. I'm not sure what happens to him.
Well, yeah, he chucks him against a piece of equipment.
He seems to get electrocuted.
And a spark happens about a foot above his head. Yeah. And he kind of reacts.
So does he hit the switch?
What happens it triggers stock footage from earlier in the film. That's is what happens here.
That's very true, yes. Yeah. So you see all the little lighted up... I said it looked like panties or whatever, and then another thing
and stuff. Yeah,
some things start going off.
But I do think that Atwill does a great face plant.
He does.
He kind of spirals, and the music sort of goes with him.
Yeah.
Boom, you're done.
And he yells out, "I regret nothing." He could actually. He could. That'd be good. Yeah. You know what? Well, then all hell breaks loose.
Oh, all hell breaks loose. We have another Saturday night with Lon as he gropes around blindly for lurching around, carelessly knocking over stuff.
What it reminds me is Dinky Town on the 4th of July. Just fucking fireworks everywhere. People shooting fireworks everywhere.
Or apparently here, because it's...
Oh, really?
The last 3 nights have been nuts.
Oh, that's too bad.
And if it's the normal fireworks, the dogs don't care. But some assholes have been like really close and really loud, and it freaks Eddie out.
Okay.
So it's been kind of tough. So he tips over a shelf with some chemicals, which erupt into flames.
Just explodes.
Pretty spectacularly.
Yeah.
It's a almost.
No, my.
Sorry,
right?
Sorry, YouTube listeners. This is probably last week was probably the last time you could hear us.
Yeah. Sorry, you're no longer listening to us now.
Yeah.
I honestly can't tell for sure if I'm serious about this, whether the monster is meant to be stumbling around blindly or if he's trashing the place. I think, is it a little bit of both?
I think it's a little both. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Like, fuck it.
Yeah.
I'll just, if I bump into something, who cares?
What good is a brain without eyes to see?
Yeah.
So
this is
I'm
all falling apart.
Taking everybody out with me. Yeah.
I mean, it's we didn't talk about this. In the script, they go into, you mentioned that he can't hear him either, but there's a whole other explanation. There's like, I didn't bring my script book so we could do the dramatic reading, but it might be worth, pull it out. Whip it out there.
I'll whip it out.
Excuse me while I whip this out.
The idea is, it's not, they don't even mention blood type, I don't think. It isn't a blood type mismatch that results in the sensory nerves not being something or other. Trying to kill some time while Tom finds the page. And then I went to the car wash. There's a car wash by my house that it's like a full service car wash, but you have to make an appointment for detailing. So I called about detailing.
I'm not seeing it
and
here.
They said you could do detailing. Really? The explanation of the eyes? Why you can't see?
Try to play God, Bohmer, and I have proved that no one is infallible. There is only one who makes no mistakes.
Oh, Lord.
The ray is not enough. I realized it now. His blood is polymorphocellular. Extreme hemocrosis will not feed a normal brain. The monster's nerves will cease to function.
Well, that's great, because all of that makes it sound like it would be the same problem with Kettering's brain.
Yeah, I don't think it would matter which brain it is.
So he was just fucking around this whole time. I like the script better.
Yeah.
Ludwig's like, oh yeah?
Yeah.
This was just a joke I was playing on you guys.
Yeah, you bought it hook, line, and sinker, you idiots.
Yep, I kind of like that idea. Okay.
Okay, then.
So that's what happens.
Yep.
And I guess that's...
Well, then there's a nice little, one of those nice Cleo Baker models that's going up in flames.
It's very nice.
The model here is great.
It's really, really great. The only, when I look at it for the purposes of scrutinizing it for this podcast, I go, okay, yeah, the flames are so big that it does look like a model.
Right.
But flames kind of look like that anyway.
Flames and water are two things that are really hard to miniaturize.
Yeah, right.
And they always give away that it's a model.
One odd thing that I think gives it away as a model is when they show the model burning, on the right side of the screen there's an ash that floats up, and it's just a piece of like paper or something that maybe came off the edge of it, and it's burned up and it became ash and it floated away. But if it's expanded to life size, it's like the size of a mattress or a semi truck or something. It's like, well, that wouldn't probably, but maybe it would. I don't know. That's the thing with flames.
Yeah,
it's gorgeous, and I'm complaining. It's gorgeous.
Yeah,
it looks great.
It's really well constructed. It's really well lit.
Yeah, this is a pretty spectacular minute from that perspective. Yeah, no complaints.
And then we get more chaos as Junior staggers around. Shit blows up. He's shielding his eyes as he staggers through this. He's got
I didn't think about that. Yeah,
one arm over his face.
And why is he doing that? Is it because it's not Cheney, or
it's
is it
not
because
Cheney and he's not blind?
Yeah.
He's protecting us. Are we keeping you up here?
It's been a long year.
Yeah, we still got one more to do.
You got any more? You got any of the tramadol? No,
Yeah,
that's good.
All right. Then we get some close-ups. It is Cheney in the close-ups. There's what they call a fire bar, which is just a gas.
It really looks like
gas fed has jets that it's about a couple feet in front of them, and they do a close. They use a
what
they use a long lens for that, so that it foreshortens it.
When he first pushes over that first rack of chemicals, is that a fire bar too? There,
well, there's some sort of a triggered explosion.
It's very effective because it's
flames and smoke.
How could you know what's going on behind that? Yeah, it looks right, but once you get some idea of how they do it, it's pretty obvious how they do it.
Yeah, and I mean, this is a technique that's used all the time, and it's never convincing. And then
I don't know.
With the fire bar like that, I've never seen it where it doesn't look anything like
a fire bar.
Fire bar, yeah.
I guess.
But here, we get a couple shots.
I guess
and there's like flames or smoke that obscure the edit from one shot to the next, and he gets progressively more blistered on his face. And for 42, it's pretty graphic.
That's true.
Him burning up like that,
and he makes a very extreme weird face where he's like going, he does this thing, and it looks dumb. He's just not as well. I'll have more to say about this next week, strangely enough. There's very little to talk about next week, but I will have more to say on that. It's just too bad Boris Karloff didn't come back
for this.
Because Boris Karloff had a relationship. Boris's monster had a relationship with fire.
Yes,
that was meaningful over at least those those first 2 films.
Yeah.
This is kind of a great tragedy that he keeps getting burned up.
Burned up. Well, and it'll happen again.
What?
It'll happen again.
Yeah, that's
Twice.
true. Yeah, it keeps happening.
You just, you know what? Well,
This is the monster's weakness, though. In real life, when we watch this series, he's always getting burned up, and he fucking hates it.
Yeah, he does.
It's his least favorite
it's his
thing.
Achilles heel. Yes.
Yeah, fire bad.
That's what.
Actually, he doesn't say fire bad. He says fire no good. Yeah.
Any more questions, wise ass?
All right. Well, that sign, the clock on the wall indicates that
I see by the old clock on the wall. It's time for the wise ass comments. Wise asses.
Smooth jazz sounds of wise ass comments.
I'm Lee Cammond on
who?
NPR. He used to do Lee Cammond. I always thought it was Lake Hammond, but it's the way he said it.
Okay.
He was on NPR at a jazz sort of a thing.
Okay, well then I got it right. Of wise ass comments from Patreon, wise ass level Patreon people who kind of subscribe at the wise ass level.
I couldn't have put it better myself.
Yeah, and this is what they said. Oh,
we have a winner.
All right, the winner of a head of cauliflower is this week's commenter, Mike Herman. Mike Herman writes, "We've come to it at last, the greatest moment in motion picture history. You can keep your Rosebud, your Frankly My Dear, I Don't Give a Damn, or just about everything else. Bohmer!" Yep, I'm with you.
Yes, absolutely. I couldn't agree more.
Will Hohenstein writes, according to Google, there are 43 million blind people worldwide and 295 million with moderate or severe vision impairment. Boy.
Okay.
Will asking ChatGPT these questions
Sure.
too, I guess. I guess he says according to Google.
Google.
I wonder how many of them feel similarly to Igor and how many are perfectly happy.
Yeah.
If Igor hadn't thrown a tantrum and accidentally set the lab on fire, he still would have gotten everything he wanted just without sight.
Yep.
Maybe Moose could have been his seeing eye dog.
Oh, see? Beautiful.
That's, everybody know what that is? That's Cheney's
it's
dog's
Cheney's
name.
German Shepherd, yeah.
I mean, it is really true. Igor, when I said this just the other day, that he follows that sort of Buddhist philosophy of, I don't mind what happens. We're doing this now.
Yeah.
I'm going to do this now. I don't care. I'll do this. Turn on the gas. Fuck it. We'll kill everybody. Doesn't matter. And then
Except
now I'm blind. Ah,
this
fuck it.
is the end of the
Everything's hopeless.
Everything's fucked. Yep.
Yeah, and I'm not blind, and the idea of being struck blind suddenly is very frightening.
Terrifying, yeah.
Terrifying, yeah. I'm sure that I would be closer to the Igor side than the Ray Charles side.
Absolutely.
Actually, Ray Charles went blind, didn't he?
Yeah.
He's in the movie.
For a while, but I think you acclimate, you
absolutely.
adapt, you get over it.
You'd hope.
You'd have to, otherwise, yeah, you would stumble
And this
around.
is a guy who's been hanged.
Well,
he's had his brain pulled out of his body and stuck into the junk heap.
He's been hanged, he's been shot.
Yep.
He was crushed behind a door. That probably didn't do him any good either.
That's true.
That's probably what he was whining about when he said, better dead than a life like this.
Yep.
Yeah, so he's had setback after setback. One more setback, and he's like, that's it. That's all I can take.
I guess then I'm going to do him a solid and assume. I'm going to do this fictional character a solid and
Right.
assume that he does destroy the lab accidentally. He kills Bohmer on purpose because he's pissed. Okay, everybody has a, bad days.
Yeah, right.
And he was struck blind, so I can see killing one guy.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
One guy.
One guy.
Well, he killed Ludwig, too.
Yeah, but did
it
he
was
do it?
before he went blind.
The thing is, the reason why I can't speculate about him killing Ludwig is because I don't know if he did.
Yeah.
I'm assuming he dies at the end, but we got another week to talk about that.
Well, I mean, he's dead at this point, as far as we know.
Actually, I just glanced at the next comment, and this kind of solves everything. Really.
Okay, well.
Mike Herman writes, at the very least, he has a malpractice suit against Bohmer. And I think that's really the right attitude, which is, sure, there might be a valid explanation for why this happened, but you still owe me $10 million, right?
Perfect, yeah.
But he can't, I mean, how would that work?
How would that work? Because
the court in Vassaria seems a little bit slipshod, first of all. I don't know.
Yeah.
The monster's going to walk in. Hello, it's me, Igor.
I am Igor!
I am Igor.
I'm Igor.
That's what he sounds like, actually. He sounds like, oh my god, I just realized it. He sounds like Butthead. Did you ever see Beavis and Butthead where he plays
Cornholio?
Cornholio?
Yeah.
I am Cornholio.
I am Cornholio. I'm
That's
Igor.
the way he says it. The second time he says it, he goes, I am Igor. The second time he goes, as he's getting off the bed.
What really sells it is because he's got his shirt up over his head and his hands in the air.
I remember, and you could see the outline of his head.
Yeah.
Vincent writes, is Bohmer being electrocuted against the machinery the first we see of this cliche in the series? It's interesting because you've got all this stuff zapping everybody left and right.
Yes, because nothing like that happens in Frankenstein at all. Because after the creation, Henry covers everything up with white cloth.
Yeah.
In Bride, nobody got zapped while everything is blowing up and going
Actually,
haywire.
somebody did, I think. How does everybody get killed on the roof? One guy gets thrown off the roof. I think that's Carl.
Yeah, Carl gets
doesn't
chucked
somebody
off, and Ludwig is up there, and I don't think...
He doesn't get slammed into a piece of exploding... Maybe I made that up.
We just assume he dies when the place blows up, I think.
Okay. I don't know, Vincent. I'm skeptical about the death of the first Ludwig.
Okay.
Does it happen again?
No.
This might be the only time.
Yeah. Well, wait. Let me think.
How does... Oh, no, he goes down in the quicksand.
Neiman?
You knew what I was talking about. Wow.
Yeah. All right. Anyway.
Also, that's the line. That's the line. What good is a brain without eyes to see? Yes, this is all the not cliche. What's the word? All the iconic stuff is happening.
Yeah, everything is. It's just smorgasbord of catchphrases at this.
That's
point.
right.
Yep.
This is. We're going out with a bang.
Yep.
That's it.
Okay. That's all we got.
That's all I got.
All right. I got nothing unless I talk about some more of my surgeries or injuries or whatever.
I had stitches on this thumb, and I had cut it while I had smashed into a guardrail, and so I was pulling out the old broken headlight to put in the new one. Back when you could do that with cars.
Yeah.
And I just sliced my thumb really badly and had to go get stitches. And I remember they sat me down and I looked away while they injected the Novocaine into my thumb, and I was like, wow, that feels weird. It feels like my thumb is like this big.
Yeah.
And I looked down and my thumb was like this big. They had filled it. Is that what they do? Do they fill it with Novocaine?
I had this finger is there's a scar because I had stitches because in art class in 8th, 9th grade, something like that, we were doing where you cut the linoleum to block print, and I slipped and just thought I bumped my hand.
Oof.
And I kept going, and all of a sudden something felt wet and sticky, and I looked down and it's like
spurting,
like in a Monty Python thing. That's with every heartbeat, it's spurting out.
Nice.
And I cut down into the muscle.
I think of Rambo. That's the best one.
Okay.
Did you ever see Rambo? Or I'm sorry, the first one, First Blood.
Yeah, I did.
He
see
stitches
the
himself up, and you could see it coming of his blood.
And
we weren't in class together, but that happened to another kid. I remember he was going this way. They tell you, don't do this. Don't aim towards your own hand. And he went right in and got that skin, that webbing skin.
Ouch. Yeah. Well, this, then so I just kind of looked at it, and that's when it hurt when I saw it. Yeah. And so I went up, and I'm trying to stem the tide.
Yeah.
And so I went up to the teacher and I cut myself. I think I need a Band-Aid.
Yeah.
And she just went white.
Yeah.
It's like, oh no, come on. So we went to the nurse and, she wrapped it up as much as she could, and they called my mom. We went to urgent care and had it stitched up, but I can't close it all the way because of that, because I cut a bit of the muscle.
It doesn't seem like all that great a loss, unless that's your trigger finger.
No, this would be me.
Because you never know. Well, I mean, you do know. You're going to need that.
Yeah.
I was in shop class, and then what's the sander, the big
belt sander,
wheel sander or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you put things up to it, and I just sort of was zinging it with my finger because it was loose. I just kind of went zing
while it was running.
Going by. No,
okay.
Just it wasn't running.
Okay.
And I went like that because it was the spot in between where the sander is and where the big table is, where the metal part is. It was just a simple pink clunk, and I looked down and my finger was all fucked up. It had gotten crushed in there, and I went to the shop teacher. Is that the right word? Yeah, I guess it is. And he didn't do what you just said. He didn't turn away. He went, all right, everybody, come on over and look. Hey, look at this idiot. And that's my memory of that. But there was nothing I could do. But I did lose the nail eventually. That whole thing where fucking
metal shop. A kid was. We had a brilliant idea. We had a box. There was a wooden box that had sheet metal scraps in it that you could just look.
Root
You were
through.
supposed to wear, the big leather gloves to do so, but he didn't.
Oof.
And he was going through, then all of a sudden, he leaned back and held his hand up and was staring at it. The pinky was gone.
No.
And it's just shooting blood out of it.
You saw this?
Yeah.
With your own face?
Yeah, and he just turned white and he's just staring at it.
Oh my God.
And the teacher, we all like, oh my God. Teacher comes over and is like, okay, come on. Handled it beautifully.
Yeah.
Put a wad of paper towels. And as he's leading him out of the room, he's like, somebody find that finger.
Oh God.
So we're all just peeking through till it. Oh my God! There it is! There it is!
Oh, and it was crawling.
It was still moving now. And then somebody we put it in some paper towels. Somebody held it, and it was passing time, and it was like the parting of the Red Sea this guy was coming down with his finger. Yep.
Finger.
And they reattached it, and it had most of its function, but it was a slightly different color. It was a little paler, yeah.
Oh God. Oh. Okay. Well, that's thanks to Jacob Walsh
for the theme song. Oh my God.